Okay, my name is Tikoy Aguiluz, but it's actually Amable, Aguiluz VI. I'm the sixth of the Amable, of seven brothers and one girl. So I have been a filmmaker off and on since 1976, 77, before you were born. It's been a while, but I have not been doing my films, regularly, as most directors do. So it's an off and on thing. So on my Facebook page, I'm basically a moviegoer. So I am proud to say I'm a real film buff. I've been watching movies since I was little, and I really love movies. I enjoy every kind of film. I watch everything, from Dokyu to everything. So as much as I can. Basically, I wanted to make a biopic, but to make a Rizal biopic involves a lot of money, budget, time, which I did not have. I had nothing. And it was really an independent production in every sense of the word, before indie became fashionable. So it started off as an idea, so I tried to figure out how I could make a Rizal film without spending so much money. Because his life encompasses several periods, and his life encompasses going to Europe and then doing all these things. And I tried to focus on what part of his life is unknown to many. And I discovered that it's the Dapitan part is unknown to a lot of people. He spent time there. That's where he became an educator. He became everything. That's where he thought of the ideas about taking care of young kids, and and he won the lottery there. When he was there, he won the lottery, so that gave him enough money to start everything. He was an irrigation specialist. He was a jack of all trades, and he was sending his samples, butterflies to Europe, and he was corresponding. And he was a Renaissance man in every sense of the word. And it was in Dapitan where he met Josephine Bracken, which was the love of his life. For me, it was the turning point, was the most important part of his life. And he fathered a child that was stillborn baby. So for me, that's Rizal as a man. Rather than just being a hero, he became a man in Dapitan. He became a father, he became a teacher, he became everything he wanted to be. And being a hero later on, it's just, for me, is just a combination of what he did in Dapitan. He was foremost an educator. We did a lot of research. We spent some time preparing for the film. We did not just do it in a hop. First of all, while raising the money, we tried to develop the screenplay and did a lot of research. On our own with a couple of my friends. Pete Bacaba came in later on in the game. So, but we were able to track down Austin Coates, the Rizal biographer, and he's the only one I know who is an authority on Rizal that's reliable. He wrote a great book on Rizal. And so I met with him, sat down with him. I even interviewed him. I don't remember where the tapes are. But he mentioned that if there is any doubt about Rizal's life, or his relationships with women, or his family, with anybody, go to the relatives. That's what he said. The relatives would know. So, but he knew a lot about Rizal, because he knew about Josephine Bracken, where she was buried in Hong Kong, and known it was great. And what she did after Rizal was executed. He knew about all these things, but I think he's one of the foremost biographers of Rizal. He's an old man, but he first came to Manila one time doing something else, some kind of a seminar. Then he saw Rizal's statue in Luneta, and he said, "Who's that guy?" And then he found out who Rizal was, and he started doing his research. Of course, if you're in English, there's a lot of archives in London, so he was able to dig up a lot of things. And for me, he thought that the idea of shooting the segment of Rizal's life in Dapitan was incredible, he said. Because that's when he lived. That's when he became the Rizal the man. He was an educator. He did his scientific research, and and that's where that's where he had the dark night of the soul, so to speak. Ganun nga mga babae sa bahay lang, mga lalaking tatrabaho, mga lalaking. So mga students, puro lalaki. Ganun nung kasi mga babae hindi allowed nung araw. Even Rizal, who was pro women, did not have this idea. And the parents, teachers, the kids' parents did not allow the women to go over there and be educated. It was something that was part of that culture then. But of course he taught, the girls around, but not formally like in the school. Mga magulang ng mga kabataan babae, mga magulang ng yun yung nung araw, ganun nung araw. Even sa Dapitan, but Rizal was very progressive. He taught the young women on the side, but not formally like in a school. Ang feeling ko, kasi si Tagore, si Rabindranath Tagore ng India, yung method niya ng teaching was very similar to Rizal. They were very similar in many ways. So, ang kanyang, parang open university, open school. Parang anything goes. Punta kayo dito, kantuan tayo. Basically, it was storytelling and teaching them, the subjects. Or it was more of an experience being under his tutelage than anything else. The film was very visual. It was there. And we taught them, in under the trees everywhere. He taught them things that should be learned in school, and he taught them other things about life, about the country. So he shared everything he knew with his students as much as possible. Basically, he had a makeshift school, but he wanted to share his knowledge with the young people because he believed in the hope of the fatherland. That's what he said, right? He believed in the younger generation, and he did not. When he was writing his works, he was doing scientific research. He saw himself as an educator, and it was an experiment in the Dapitan, working with children, working with young people. So it was basically an educator's need to impart his knowledge to a younger generation that he could build in the Dapitan. I mean, you can call him a learned man, you can call him anything, but an educator maybe is one of them, because he set up his own school and he taught young people Filipino values, Filipino, and basic things that you need to learn in school. The hero, he never even for 1 minute imagined himself to be that, but of course he knew he was a great man. So he documented everything he did. And in short, he knew he and his group were destined for greatness. And he knew that. And he knew that he would lead a nation into something else, into a country, into a nation. He and his group knew that. And the group saw in him as the symbol of what's going to be next, no? So he in a sense knew that he was destined to be a hero, but he lived his life according to how he wanted to live, not according to what was needed to be a hero. You know? He was on the way to Cuba. He was on the way to Cuba. He tried to make peace with the Spaniards. He tried to negotiate with the Governor General. I mean, he was a very practical man. He was not a romantic like Bonifacio. He was very practical. He knew what had to be done. But he was a nationalist. He was a real nationalist. And he was willing to die for his country. Go to UP, if you take a PI 100, they don't believe in Rizal. The UP professors ever since, I think until now, they never believed in him. They always thought, how can he be a hero? You know? It's Bonifacio was the hero. So I was going into the film with that thing in mind, you know, that Bonifacio was a real hero and Rizal was a flake and he was not a real hero. But when I started discovering his life, and I started reading his novels, reading his works, I found out how great man this man is. He was a great man. I mean, at that time, come on, our neighbors were still trying to figure out what to do with their lives. We had a national hero. And we had a group called Indios Bravos we had one Luna who was competing in the Art Expo in Europe, winning awards. We had this group of illustrados. Can you imagine that, turn of the century? Well, our ASEAN neighbors were still trying to figure out what to do with their lives. We had the Filipino group, Los Indios Bravos in Europe. And writing this novel, publishing it, and dying for his country. I mean, what else do you want from someone? No? I mean, can you find people like that these days? No. No, you cannot find this group of people these days. You know, those guys were first class, first rate. They were educated in Europe. They met and planned how to liberate the country. It was an amazing time. I wish I could have lived in that time and saw them, you know, at work and at play. Of course, when I was telling you, in UP, I always thought of Rizal as a joke. You know, I mean, he's like national hero, okay, but it was really Bonifacio who was the real thing. That thing came to it in the making of the film. There was something very mystical about Rizal. There was this, I don't know whether it was some crazy idea in my head, but there was, while doing the film, there was some kind of a connection between him and us. You know, and I just felt that a little bit of the spark that he left our country in the psyche of our nation. I felt that, I saw that spark. You know, and I figured out what happened in between, what's happening these days, and the youth that he treasured, what's happening with the youth. They don't even know who he is. I mean, what's happening with the country? I mean, look at what's going on now. I mean, but I saw this little spark, this sparkle of greatness that the Filipino needs.